Hello everyone, Crash here, this is RTA Motorsports, and today we're going to be talking about my new Next Level Racing Elite Quad Monitor Stand. Here we go. Okay, so before we go into the review of the Next Level Racing Elite Monitor Stand that we have here, I just want to go into why we end up going to something like this, something of this price category, and where we came from. So that way you could kind of understand some of the things, some of the decisions that I made over time, and maybe you could relate to that and it'll help you in your decision making. So my rig has undergone many iterations. I'm talking maybe 5 or 6 different versions of monitor stands from the very beginning. In the very beginning, we were, of course, racing on a desk. Then we did a custom wooden sawhorse and triple screen monitor mount. That was something I made myself to try to keep cost real low, and I kept that for a few years. Well, anyway, the last version that I had before this one, you could find it on Amazon, and I'm going to post it here. It's the Extreme Sim Racing Triple Monitor Stand. So that monitor stand there worked well for a few of my rigs that I've had, in that it kept the PC mounted to the rear of it. And the last version of my motion rig, the Prosimu T1000, the steel version, is a little bit smaller as far as height goes of a rig. So being that that rig was smaller height-wise, I was able to actually fit that rig in that Extreme Sim Racing monitor stand with a little bit of customization. I did have to cut the legs a little bit shorter, so that way they weren't impacting the front actuators. But in doing so, I started to basically allow that monitor stand to tilt a little bit. And in doing so, I also gave it a little bit of instability by cutting the legs shorter. Those legs don't allow it to tilt backwards. So after working with Prosimu and upgrading to the Prosimu T1000 AL cockpit with the silent actuators here, this rig is taller. It is much more stout. It is bigger. I tried my best to make do with what I had. So I built a wooden platform for the monitor stand to basically stand on, some legs that would lift the whole monitor stand up. Also in doing so, I had to cut those legs a little bit shorter, and I mounted those legs to the wooden platform that I built. Unfortunately, it was not stable enough, and one day while playing Dirt Rally and I turned the motion up a little bit, the rig made contact with the monitor stand. My PC with my 4090 in it was mounted to the back of it, and the whole rig fell against the wall. The computer did not fall off the stand. It almost fell off the stand, and I was in a precarious position trying to hold my monitor stand as best as I could while screaming for my wife to come up and help me straighten out this monitor stand so that way it didn't drop my computer on the floor, potentially breaking the hardware that was inside. I knew enough was enough. I've always wanted to upgrade my monitor stand to something that was 80/20, something that was made for a rig like mine. But I was trying to make do with what I had for as long as I could, and that was the breaking point. A lot of people, especially who live in Europe, they go with a brand like SimLab, or there's many other 80/20 based monitor stand and accessories companies out there, or a lot of people go with the DIY route and make their own monitor stand. Unfortunately, I did have videos that I wanted to make. I was actually in the middle of the Oculus Quest Pro review that is going to be coming soon. I'm still editing that video now, and time was definitely not on my side. Being that I didn't have a place to mount my PC at that point, I needed something to come as soon as possible. Looking through Amazon and looking at the reviews, the Next Level Racing Elite Monitor Stand was able to be delivered to me within the week here in the United States. So that is the route I went. Let's jump into some of the features and specs of this monitor stand before we jump into my thoughts. So this monitor stand will actually accommodate anywhere from 21-inch monitors to 43-inch monitors. In my particular setup, we have triple 32-inch monitors with a 24-inch monitor at the top on that quad monitor stand. You can put a up to 43-inch screen on that top there. It's more than strong enough to really accommodate that. Also, you have the room to do so as well. They say that they're using universal 3mm VISA mounting plates for the majority of the monitors. The interesting thing is they did go a separate route for that center monitor. It does have vertical bars, kind of similar to what you would see for TV mounting solutions, but they are using on the rest of the monitors this 3mm thick plate that will accommodate anywhere from 75 by 75 millimeter mounting solutions to 100 by 100, 150 by 150, 200 by 100, 100 by 200, and 200 by 200 mounting solutions. So almost depending on, almost any monitor should be able to mount on these VISA mounting plates here. And they are using the same plate for all those mounting solutions. The monitor stand itself only comes in the carbon gray anodized powder coating. And then they tastefully added some Next Level Racing logos to the side of it. It's almost like ghosted in. It's not super bright in your face, doesn't look cheesy. It actually looks very premium the way they did it. They also included quite a few of their cable ties. I'm gonna say it's their solution to cable ties. They're these little clips that go in the aluminum profile. It does have the NLR logo on the side of it itself. It's not painted or anything like that. Again, very tasteful the way they did it. And it's also nice that they include those as well. So you do get some wire management built into it. Another thing is the side posts. I do have them in their widest position, but you could actually mount them in a few different locations depending on what you need. So they can mount anywhere from 720 millimeters wide, the side posts, all the way up to 1240 millimeters wide, depending on the application. So my side posts being in their widest position for my Prosimu T1000 3 degrees of freedom motion rig, it actually fits just around the rig perfectly. It fits like it was meant to be built for this rig. So absolutely beautiful fitment there, and I greatly appreciate that we do have the ability to adjust how wide you actually put those legs. Also, Next Level Racing are using what they say is their own custom 100 by 40 millimeter aluminum profile base for strength and rigidity. I do gotta say the aluminum profile that are the legs that we are talking about here are very big. They're very big and robust, and yeah, I do gotta say it is lending itself to not only stability, but rigidity in this case. Lastly, the monitor stand also comes with adjustable feet, so that way you could level off the monitor stand. It comes with a little bubble level too, so that way you could fully make sure your monitor stand is completely level in your room. But the feet also allows you to further lift up the monitor stand a little bit further if you just need to get that little bit of extra height to move those monitors in as close as you can. Very nice feature. All right, so let's jump in the rig. I'm going to give you my impressions as we're turning a few laps. Here we go. All right, everyone, as we wait for the cars to get on the track, we're going to be racing in Iracing in the BMW GT4. We got a few other GT4s that are going to be racing with us. This is an AI race. Now, as we take a look at my triple monitor setup in all of its glory, you can kind of see now that I can get the monitors real close, just how much it envelops my peripheral vision. I did get these monitors quite a bit closer than they were before. Down there, hopefully you could see the side post compared to the actuator. I have about a 4-inch gap between the two on both sides, which really gives me a lot of room, a lot of real estate for my rig to move around and never make contact with the monitors or the monitor stand. That enables me to just set it and forget it. Everything is in its position, everything is perfect, and really I have no complaints at this point in time. Of course, I would love to be able to get my monitors maybe just a touch closer, but to be honest with you, where it is right now, I do not have any complaints at all. I feel like the FOV is really immersive at the setting and position that it is now. And it almost gives it a 3D sort of experience because I do have the trees kind of blowing by in my peripheral. Oh man, this AI just nailed me on the side there. And up top, you can see my quad monitor stand up there. Now this rig, it does come as an option to get the quad monitor mount up there for the Next Level Racing Elite monitor stand. You could just buy the stand for a single TV, or you could buy it for a triple, or you could get it as a quad stand. Now, I recommend anyone that is looking at a new monitor stand, definitely get the quad if you can, because even if you're not making content, you're not recording, you're not live streaming, really it does enable you to run things like SimHub, where you could see the track view up there. You could also get telemetry information of your car. You could get pit fuel calculators up there, so you could really almost be your own crew chief, on top of having your simulator run in full screen mode, because most monitors that are G-Sync or G-Sync compatible require the title to run in full screen mode. So I'm able to run my simulator here in full screen mode while having other things on this fourth monitor up top. Like right now I have my recording going, so I can monitor that. But in the event that I was racing without actually doing any sort of content, I could have the standings up there again, fuel calculator, pit manager, things like that. I do have a Samsung CHG90 widescreen monitor on my desk, but off to the right here, it's behind that monitor. There's no way I'm going to see that. So really just take a look at your setup, take a look at your needs. But I cannot recommend that if anyone gets a monitor stand of any kind, if they do have the option to get the quad monitor mount up top, definitely do so. It is extremely useful, it really is. So let's go into the building of this monitor stand. I gotta say, I was a little nervous with it being a 80/20 profile stand, that the instructions wouldn't be as intuitive as I would require them to be, being that I don't have a whole lot of experience with 80/20 other than building my rig personally. So I was extremely surprised that their very, very good, clear, and easy to read instruction manual was supplied with it. And not only that, but all the parts for the monitor stand were also clearly labeled as to what they were. So it made the whole process super easy. The packaging material used was really something that you would almost expect to see in a big box store. It was very, very nice looking. The box was very beautiful. And when you open it up, everything was in its like own styrofoam container. There was really no risk of any sort of injury to any of the 80/20 aluminum profiles or the powder coating, because everything was packaged really well. The labeling of the we just tagged the wall. The labeling of all the equipment that was needed in there, honestly, was the icing on the cake. That was perfect. So it made the instructions that much more useful. I would say it would take somebody between 4 and 8 hours to build this monitor stand. It took me a while because I had other things going on too, along with a long period of a blackout that happened in my area that lasted quite a few days. So that was unfortunately something we were dealing with here that really just held me up a little bit getting this monitor stand mounted in together. But I would say give yourself 4 to 8 hours to put this thing together, and then maybe another few hours once you get your monitors mounted on there to get everything completely situated and leveled off. It does come with a bubble level, so that way you can really make sure that your rig, or I should say your monitor stand, is completely level in your room on your floor. And it comes with adjustable feet, so that way you can accommodate the monitor stand to whatever flooring situation you have going on. Now my rig here is moving around, bouncing around, jostling around, never makes contact with the monitors. And why is that good? Well, you don't want it to make contact with your monitors, but when you do have a rig and you are upgrading your rig's getting bigger and bigger, like which was in my case here. I started outgrowing my old monitor stand, and I was trying my best to make do. I know I said that already, but the problem is when you're doing something like that, you really run into an instance of where you could start running into problems. Those problems can compound into frustration, and if your hobby is frustrating you or is unpleasant or not easy for you to really enjoy, you start shying away from the hobby. And that's something that was happening to me quite often. I didn't want to really race in it anymore. I wasn't comfortable racing in it. Every time I got in the rig, I had to adjust the monitors a little bit. If my rig moved just the right way, it would make contact with the monitors and the whole monitor stand would start swaying. And it just became this mess, to be honest with you, where I just felt like something was about to go wrong until it eventually did. Now that I have this new monitor stand, everything has its place, its position, and to be honest with you, it's so comfortable to be in now. It's easy to get in and out of. I'm not worried about anything falling down, and not only that, I never have to adjust anything getting in my rig. I cannot stress just how important that is to me, to just set it and forget it. And it's really invigorated me back into sim racing again, where I could enjoy it and not be angered and frustrated. And now let's talk about some of the cons, because there are some when we're talking about this monitor stand. First con is, well, the monitor stand is potentially too big for some areas. And even though you can really narrow out this monitor stand really close together to fit in certain situations, the cross member can be a little bit big. So be realistic with the size of the monitors you're planning on using, and also measure out the width that they say on their website that this monitor stand is, and make sure you can fit it. Well, you don't want to run into a situation where you bought a monitor stand that was just way too large for your setup or for your space provided. Now, I can't really say that's a con or a fault of the monitor stand itself. It's just something when you're starting to look at products like this, you're going to have to consider. I mean, this is big. This is a really big monitor stand. Now, a lot of people were saying in the reviews, pictures just don't do it justice, and I do got to agree with them. This is a stout, large piece of equipment. The next thing I would say is the VISA mounting plates. So this is the quad setup. It all came in one box, not two separate boxes. And what they did was they included three VISA mounting plates and one, I don't know exactly what it's called, but it's basically like a TV mount with the with the vertical bars, two vertical bars. And in their instructions, per their instructions, they want you to mount the vertical bars to the center screen, the VISA mounting plates to the other three monitors, so the two on the sides and the one up top here. Problem is with that is I have three of the same monitor here. If I would have used the three mounting plates that are exactly the same, it would have made lining up these monitors so much easier as far as height goes. Being that I use the vertical bars that you would normally see for like TV mounts on the back of the center monitor, per the instructions, I wanted to follow the instructions. It took a lot of sort of fine adjustment taking this monitor on and off just to get it to match the side monitors. that I felt was kind of unnecessary, that if they would have just included that same VISA plate that they included for all the 3 other monitors, we wouldn't have had that issue. Also, being that the VISA mounting plate is made to accommodate a wide range of monitors, it's huge. It's absolutely huge. So I found on all my monitors, I had to cut away a section of the VISA mounting plate just to accommodate the display port or the HDMI cable that was coming out the back. These 3 are display port. The one up top here, the 24, is an HDMI, and then also the power. So you're going to want to see, you know, does your cables come from the center of the monitor or near the center of the monitor? If it does, you're going to have to cut away some of the VISA mounting plate, and you're going to need the tools to do so. Now, it was extremely easy for me to do. It wasn't difficult at all, but it may be a problem for some people, to be honest with you. You know, some people don't have power tools where they could just go and cut away parts of steel. So that's something to consider, and you're going to want to look at maybe some other reviews to see what monitors they were using and whether or not they had issues with the VISA mounting plate. But I had to cut off a good amount of each one just to accommodate the DisplayPort cable and the power cable coming from the monitor. And then also there is no real individual height adjustment or tilt adjustment, like side to side tilt. There's only pitch, I would say, adjustment on the monitor stands, which is to be expected. But I do know some people were making comparisons to, I think SimLab has monitor mounts that do offer a wide range of adjustments. You're not going to really get that here. You're going to get pitch forward and back. You're not going to get individual height adjustments for each monitor. You're just going to get the cross members. And that's how you're going to be able to adjust the height. You adjust the height of all 3 at the same time. But some people, they want that individual adjustment. Now, I don't really, in my setup here, I'd never really seen that it was necessary to get that fine tuning adjustment. Once I got the center monitor mounted around the same height and angle as the side monitors, I was basically good to go. But if you really want that ability to fully fine-tune the adjustments of the monitors for your particular setup, if you need that, you may want to look at maybe SimLab or any other company that offers those monitor mounts that you can really, really fine-tune. But to be honest with you, with this setup here, I got the monitors lined up perfectly, and honestly don't have an issue that would necessitate that myself. These are just things I've heard others say, especially when you're considering the price point of this monitor stand. And the last con is this monitor stand is just, it is very expensive. There are cheaper monitor stands out there, and to be honest with you, I did want to go some of those routes, but I just didn't have the time frame that allowed for me to do so. Those other monitor stands would have taken weeks to get here because most of them are out of the country. As far as the United States. So if you live in Europe, I mean, you maybe a better option for you to take advantage of one of those other ones, one of those other well-reviewed monitor stands that are quite a bit cheaper, you know. But this one here, I do gotta say, for the price, you are getting an extremely stout monitor stand that is made of thicker aluminum profile than most rigs, to be honest with you. And honestly, it says it can fit up to 43-inch monitors, and I know that's a limitation of the width of it. I would be completely comfortable putting 43s on here, no problem. No problem whatsoever. Yeah, overall, I gotta say this monitor stand has exceeded my expectations. The building process of it was absolutely easy and beautiful. The instructions manual was really intuitive, and honestly, I think a lot of other companies need to take a page out of Next Level Racing's playbook and really look at how they did their instructions, because not only was the card stock really nice that they used for the instruction manual itself, the pictures were really clear, but they also have videos that are very, very clear on how to install each part of the monitor stands. Kind of clears up maybe any questions you may have. But then everything in the box was separated very clearly and labeled individually. Made it extremely easy and intuitive to understand what needed to happen for each piece of aluminum profile. And that is just, unfortunately, something that you don't see in a lot of sim racing equipment. It's kind of hard to talk as I'm getting bounced around on this road. Is we're gonna have a guy coming up on the right side. Hopefully we can hold him off. Woo! Had the one incident, but overall we made it. There we go. All right, everyone, hopefully you enjoyed this video. The Next Level Racing Elite monitor stand, really, I do recommend it, and I do enjoy having a monitor stand that fully fits my rig. Now, hopefully I conveyed another point to you all, and it's that if you have a hobby like sim racing, one-wheeling, whatever it is, and you really enjoy it, but there is something that is frustrating you about that hobby, something that you have introduced into it that is just really not working out, maybe take a step back, analyze the situation, analyze your hardware, analyze your software, whatever it may be, that is really just kind of taking you away from the pure enjoyment that you had before, and you just may need to take that out and remove it. Sometimes it's not necessarily upgrading your rig that's really going to make you enjoy something again. Sometimes it's just really stepping back and realizing, what was it that you were excited about before with that hobby? What was it that was really giving you that pure enjoyment? And maybe go back to that. It might just mean you need to simplify your setup completely. Back before I was live streaming and video recording and everything like that, just being in the car was a simple enjoyment. And honestly, I took a break from live streaming. I took a break from video content creation for a little bit, not only to really just, you know, get that excitement back again, but also to analyze what was it that was really frustrating me about my rig. And I think I finally figured it out. Honestly, just the comfortability of being able to just sit in the rig and go is mind-blowing. Stay tuned, because we do have the Oculus, or not the Oculus, I keep saying that, the MetaQuest Pro review coming soon. It's still being edited right now. And then also Antlion sent us the Kimura headset. Now, this headset is unlike anything else we've ever tested on this channel here, but it does have a integrated microphone. It's all very sleek, very, very slim, but we'll see how it actually works in regards to sim racing and content creation. Everyone, stay safe, stay happy. I'll catch you all next time.